Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Necromancer. As I said I would do, I'm here in the morning while the double XP thing is still going on. I have increased the difficulty up to Torment 6. I have no idea how well this is going to go, but I took extra steps and extra care to upgrade my gear. My gear is looking alright. You can take a look at my stats here. You can see I've got about 51k damage, almost 52, 500k toughness. Not the greatest of stats, but I mean for level 55, not bad. I did also adjust my Paragon points into life regeneration here out of life, simply because of the passive that I'm currently using that gives me extra regeneration whenever enemies are around me. Also, I never went over this since we're on live. I do have items in my cube. I've got a furnace for extra elite damage. I've got, I'm doubling the helm item, so I'm getting even more XP there. So that's going to try and hopefully speed things up even further. That's the way it was even in the last video. I just never talked about it. And I do have a Convention of Elements, which a lot of people probably noticed swirling around me. But something else that I do have is I've got these legendary pants that I did find along the way. These are the Defiler Cuisis. You know what? I suck at pronunciations, so we're just going to go with the Defiler. This allows my Bone Spirit's damage to increase by 100% every second it's active. So the farther away I am from my opponent, the more damage Bone Spirit will do. Unfortunately, I don't have Bone Spirit active right now. If we look at the stats on that, that actually rolled decently. It is a maximum roll on the additional damage for Bone Spirit. So this will definitely be going into my KageKaze cube when I go and start making builds. So enough talk, have at you. We're going to go into a Nephilim Rift, see if I can survive. Oh, right. Skills. Almost forgot. We are losing Siphon Blood Drain Life, which gave us additional life, but no essence. We're going to go to Grim Scythe Blood Scythe, so another blood primary, and much like its brethren here under Blood Siphon, it is going to give us healing. Healing 1% of my health per enemy hit. So I'll have a bit more healing there. And the good news of Grim Scythe, Blood Scythe over Siphon Blood is I'm going to get resources now. So I'm going to have to change my build up again. Actually, and I mentioned earlier that I don't have Blood Spirit because I completely forgot that I was actually using Blood Spirit as my secondary. I'm not used to it being there on that button. Look, you guys know by now, I make silly mistakes. We got Grim Scythe, Blood Scythe. Oh, we also got Frailty. So we're going to lose this Aura of Frailty because we unlocked Early Grave. This triggers at 18% life, but it costs me 10% of my life. So you're kind of trading off. Normally, Frailty triggers at 15. You're only adding 3% more. You're taking 10% of your life to take off 3% of theirs. I mean, conventional math would tell you that seems like a terrible trade-off, but 3% extra life, especially on really high greater rifts or whatever, when the monsters have just ass tons of health, that's a lot. That is a lot of damage, basically. Not only that, but we as the heroes, we have a bunch of life regeneration and defenses. So what do we care about losing life? Especially since we've just gotten this Blood Scythe. So I like the idea of keeping my Bone Spirit because I have those pants. But I'm going to have to, move things around. I should have a secondary now that I'm going to be generating resources. So what I'll probably do is maybe take the Army of the Dead, or what am I doubling up? Let's just take a quick look. I'm doubling up on nothing. I don't have a secondary. I've got a corpse, a nation. Oh yeah, I'm doubling up on Blood and Bone. So in that case, what I could do is take off this dash, since I'm planning on being in the distance anyway. So we'll do that. I'll keep one of each ability, I think, and we'll take the dash off, and we'll make this a secondary. So what should we get? We're going to get lots of ability. We're going to get lots of essence. Now this is kind of counterproductive because I'm going to be, my spirit gains more damage the further away I am, but this build kind of with the scythe is going to have me up close. But I can always get away or fire it at distant enemies. That being said, though, if I'm going to be up close for other things, let's put on Nova. And we'll bring back the Bone Nova. I thought that looked pretty cool. And 475. I'm going to be regenerating health. You know what? I'll do Bone Nova. See how it works. And if I need to, I'll go to the Blight Nova to make the enemy's health be reduced. So there we go. Enough talk again. Have at you. 6 minutes of exposition. You guys know full well how this works. Okay. Gonna spend a little bit of health. Oh, look at that blood scythe. Oh, wow. Okay. Ow. Yeah, okay. Okay. Obviously. Increasing the torment is, a risky venture. I think I can go higher than Torment 1. I just don't know how much higher. We're just going to bring it up to 3, see how it goes. Okay, I'm keeping my health up a bit. Not enough, really. I think I'm going to need to change out the Nova. If I want to keep this difficulty, I will have to. Alright. I don't have any pets, so obviously this is difficult. I mean, I was keeping myself alive a little bit there. So I'm going to revive at the checkpoint. We're going to put on a little bit of damage reduction on Blight. They're going to do 15% less. So it's still got draw life. And I think we're going to take off Overwhelming. Let's maybe get something a little more defensive. Oh yeah, I also got Serration. So this is another ability I unlocked. Bone Spikes, Bone Spear, and Bone Spirit deal 1% increased damage every 1.5 yards from me up to 20%. So that's nice. That actually will stack with our Defiler. Here, our wonderful Defiler Curse. Defiler Pants. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this Land of the Dead here so I can just put out a bunch of corpse explosions. And we're already going to get 56. Yeah, I mean, I'm surviving barely. We'll keep going. I mean, things have slowed down, but they haven't at the same time because, I mean, I've leveled right away. Alright, let's see what we got. We got a new Corpse ability, so we're going to get Corpse Lance, so I'm losing my Explosion. Corpse Lance is going into Blood Lance, so more blood abilities. Seems like the blood abilities are the things that are unlocking last. It really seems like they decided they didn't want to introduce these blood mechanics sparsely. They just kind of throw them at you here at the end. Alright, so Corpse Lance spends 2% of my total health to launch an additional lance from myself towards the target that deals 525 weapon damage as physical. So I get a lance that's 1750 and a lance that's 525. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good increase. I mean, that's over... Okay. Over 2,000. We'll give it a... Of course, I need to select the actual thing there. And Blood and Bone, we are getting Bone Armor, so it looks like I'm going to be losing the Spirit, but it will improve my survivability. So it won't work well with the passives. I'll change out what I use. I'll keep using Serration, but I'll probably switch out my secondary. Means we won't be using the pants, but that's fine. I'm not using a build that's working with them right now. So Bone Armor is going to go to Thy Flesh Sustained. It's going to cost me 20% health to increase my life per second by 10% per target hit. So that's an interesting trade-off here. So, again, all the blood abilities are the very final rune. It's like every 5th rune is a blood ability, it seems. And this one, I find to be a fascinating trade-off. I'm going to take health away from myself now in order to get my regeneration back. So you combine that with the passive that I'm already using of Draw Life, which increases my regeneration even further. You could definitely see that it's a blood build that is meant to keep you alive. So you don't even have to use blood abilities, right? You could use Thy Flesh Sustained, with Draw Life and maybe one of the other blood abilities that give you back life, and nothing else that spends life. So you could really use this bone armor for your sustainability with probably almost any build, honestly. So this is Spikes, Spear, and Spirit, right? So I'm not using Spikes, and I'm not using Spirit, so let's go into Spear. Do I want to... Honestly, because things are hitting hard, let's not do the one that takes our... let's not do the one that takes our health, shall we? I do have one that reduces their attack speed, right? Yeah, their attack speed and increases mine. Other than that, I have an AoE. Well, I mean, it is an AoE in a line, technically. Let's do... I could do a major AoE here, or... I tend to like the feel of Shatter. I'm going to go with Shatter. We'll give this a try, see how it goes. So the further away I am, the more damage I'll do with Serration. Just got to keep that in mind. I really like the way this blood scythe looks, I'll be quite honest. So I'll go around, let's go ahead and try and get myself some armor. So you see, yeah, I took a bit of a health loss there, but
that is not possible.
oh wow, look at the damage on that. Like I forgot. I completely forgot that Corpse Lance, I have to target the enemy I want to hit with the lance. I was trying to target the corpse and I wasn't getting anything out of it. So that's one of those things with the corpse skills. Their targeting methods vary and alternate. So if you get used to one, that can happen. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna get a little bit more bone armor. So I've got... I'll have to look at it afterwards. I didn't do the math on exactly how much armor that's going to give me. But I'm going to pop my Land of the Dead, and I'm just going to start throwing out lances. Is my Land of the Dead just not activated? Okay. I just wrecked a bunch of stuff, though. My goodness. I can pull away, try and get more damage on this. And once again, I turned off my bars. I apologize. I seem to hit V very frequently by accident. I love that this bone armor maintains its full stacks even if I only hit one enemy. That was one thing I didn't like about the Necromancer, not Necro, the Witch Doctor's ability when he used his intelligence buff. He could only get it based on how many enemies he hit at the time. And I think it's staggered, so you would lose parts of it at times. Anyway, we've leveled again. We are 57. We're going to get a new Death Nova, so I'm already losing the Spear. This one is Blood Nova. So once again, Blood. Spend 10% health to unleash a Blood Nova that deals 450% weapon damage as physical to all nearby enemies within 25 yards. So it increases the damage by 100%, so from 350 to 450, and it is 25 yards, which is the base damage. So I'll have to rely on this Blood Scythe to keep me alive. It is 1% of my health per enemy. This kind of works, right? Because Grim Scythe gives me a percentage for every enemy hit, so this I should regenerate well within a large group. And Blood Nova will basically give me the damage I need for nukes at the same time. Yeah, I think this could work. Other than that, unfortunately, it looks like I am going to be losing Frailty, which I have to admit, it's my favorite curse. Just because taking away health is amazing. Survivability, though, I may have to end up going to Leech. But for now, we've unlocked a new Decrepify for borrowed time. Gain 1% cooldown reduction for every enemy cursed, up to a maximum of 20%. So that's going to help with my Army of the Dead, which is good, because Army of the Dead is basically going to be my big nuke for big things I need. Now, because I'm up close, we're just going to get rid of Serration. There is no need for it. I don't have minions, so what would be a good... I mean, the curses last forever. I need to keep reapplying curses, though, because... Oh, it's for every enemy cursed, up to a maximum of 20. So, actually, Eternal Torment probably would be better, because then I can get my curses out more often and can keep the cooldowns low. That may not be a bad idea. Let's throw it out there. I haven't used it before. We'll give it a go. Now, we are getting close to 60, and if I'm not mistaken, it's at that point that we... at 61, everything we get is going to be just a new rune on Simulacrum. Okay, so I understand why they did that for every class, because obviously Reaper of Souls, right? That's pretty much the answer right there, Reaper of Souls. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that splash of blood. That's a... Ooh. Oh, wow, look how many lances fly out.
I'm afraid not. I need a corpse.
So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this Land of the Dead, and I want to see, as I put curses out, you know, what kind of reduction can I get on it? This is interesting. I'm not sure if these abilities really play well together, but it's somehow working. Because I'm basically combining, I'm doing my AoE, but it's taking my health. I've got this big AoE, but I feel like with how many corpses I'm getting, I can just spam the lance. Damn, that hits really hard. That's really nice. And I'm about to lose it. Damn. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure, because I feel like I could do without one of these damaging abilities, right? I almost feel like well, I mean, I obviously need a secondary if I don't have corpses, so yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. There was tons of stuff happening. I really love this Nova, by the way. It's a big, bold explosion. Like it stands out, the crimson red against everything else. It's just very obvious when that ability hits. Whew, okay. So it looks like we're going back to Revive, though. Revive will give me Oblation. Increases the damage of revived creatures by 20%, but each revive will cost me 3% health. Okay, no, that's fine. That's something that'll take a bit of health. I think... I don't know if I just unlocked Death Nova, so I kind of really should keep using it. Let's see what we get in place of Bone Armor. We're going back to Bone Spirit, though. We've got Possession. Bone Spirit will now charm the target for 10 seconds at the cost of 5% health. So... okay, the way I play this, the way I do my builds when I do this series may end up costing me, because everything is blood now. Oh man, I've got a short range Nova, I've got a long range Spirit, Borrowed Time, I mean, that's nice. Borrowed Time, you know what, that should work with, that should actually work fairly well with the Bone Spirit. So what if we go ahead and take off the Nova, though, and again we put something on that's not going to take health, like Shatter, right? That might be good. And I keep the army because I should be able to keep my cooldowns low. And what we'll do is we'll take off the Eternal Torment. We'll go back to Serration to try and keep, because then I've got my Spear and I've got my Possession. Honestly, I should get rid of the Scythe. If I'm going long range, this is a long range build pretty much. I don't want to lose my essence, so let's put it to Power Siphon. Why not? That's a pretty big single target hitter. Okay, here we go. We're going to try. I need corpses. So here we go. We are level 58. Getting close to 60.
I need essence.
Alright, let's, pull back. I need to get some distance. Once I get some corpses, that should help. There we go. And they should hit pretty hard. And now I can kind of stay at range, put down a curse. And I can use my range to increase the damage of my spear as well as my spirit once I actually remember to use it every now and then. Hasn't really been anything big to hit. Let's kind of throw a few out there. Oh, those are nice looking. Looks like I've got an incoming pack. Oh, right. You know what I've been doing? I've been making a dreadful mistake. Again, this is... Okay, let's just real talk. I'm coming off of work and going pretty much right into recording, and so my mind is a little scattered. I fully admit it. I thought, for whatever reason, I thought that that was Land of the Dead, not Army of the Dead. So I'm sitting there like, wait, why can't I spam my blood abilities? Or not my blood, but my corpse abilities. I've learned. I've learned. We're improving. It's okay. But the XP is coming in hot and fast, as you guys can obviously see. And the damage is there. I mean, we're on Torment 3. The damage is there. I'm surviving. It's not a problem. It was a rocky start, but the build was probably less than optimal, and honestly, like I said, I was getting kind of scared that using the abilities as I unlock them, like I always do, is going to set me back. I had to take some off. Just had to do it.
I have trained well.
So we're going to go to 59. So what I'm going to try and do, if leveling is quick enough, we're just going to go all the way, possibly all the way to 70, because the only thing I'm going to unlock is a new version of Simulacrum each time, right? So at this point, I can try building a little bit. That'll be easier if I can get legendaries, because legendaries will really affect what I do, to be honest. I'm not really having a problem with my life as I revive, to be honest. Damn, those hit so hard. I see like a 600k hit. Nice. I forget that it charms, since we just got that as a charm, but nothing is surviving in order to be charmed. Like, look at that. It says charmed, but it's dead. So what I need is a pack to try and charm. Let's see if I can't get a pack or something. I need something. Something kind of beefy. I just don't think I'm going to run into it, to be honest. I've already cleared out most of this. What did I get? It looks like I got a new curse. Is that all I got? Yeah, it looks to be all I got. Okay, I've charmed that thing. There. At least now we can see it. It is charmed. 10 seconds is not a bad charm, I suppose. Damn, that Army of the Dead hits so hard. Alright, looks like we're going back to Leech, so I should be able to stay alive a bit longer. I have Cursed Ground. It curses the ground. healing me for 1% of my maximum life every second for each enemy in the cursed area. Okay, so rather than curse specific enemies, I'm cursing an area or a zone. 1% of my maximum life for each enemy in the cursed area per second. That seems like it would be a lot of health, especially with a lot of monsters pulled in. And the good news is it lasts a while, right? So these cursed grounds, 30 seconds. It looks like I can only have one up though, right? So I can't just go boom, 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 boom. That looks pretty badass. I mean, look, let's zoom in a bit. You can kind of see like floating blood. I thought it looked like shapes of people were forming out of it, but I think that was just the trick of my mind, to be honest. It's just a lot of blood. So you put it down, you lure enemies into it. So rather than spamming your curse and trying to get as many enemies as possible, you just kind of put it down, and then you lure the enemies into it instead. So, and that's all we got. That's not bad. I'll take it. And I can put it down at a distance. I don't have to stand in it. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm very cool with that. Unfortunately, I kind of ran away, so I've got a little bit of lost ground to make up. Let's kind of go up here. We're at 59, getting very close to 60 in the very last rune before we get to Simulacrum.
The grave beckons.
And we're actually halfway there already. Sheesh. This is not bad. I mean, again, it's hitting pretty hard. You know what? Does this work? That's 30 seconds, right? It's going to take a bit to look at and to wait for. At some point, I don't think I'm going to do it now, but at some point what I should do is find out if Eternal Torment makes this area on the ground last essentially indefinitely. I don't think that would be exceptionally useful. I mean, 30 seconds on a ground target is honestly quite a lot of time as it is. I have no essence. Oh. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me. Honestly, that seems like that would be a waste, because when it comes to ground effects, you're probably going to be moving it more and more. If a fight lasts more than 30 seconds in a single spot, then chances are you may not be staying in that spot for too much longer anyway. I'm honestly impressed at how well this is going in Torment 3. And there we go, level 60, everybody. So let's see what we got. We've got Blood Rush Metabolism. Provides an additional charge, but doubles the health cost. So now we will get 2 dashes every 10 seconds. You know, 1 dash every 5. But it takes 10% health to use. I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. So let's put it on the bar. Let's see exactly what that looks like. That unfortunately does mean we are once again losing Bone Spirit, but we'll go ahead and put Blood Rush Metabolism on. And let's just see if it gets 2 charges on 5 seconds. Okay, it is 1 charge every 5 seconds as I anticipated. There was 1 of 2 ways that could go. It would either be... oh boy. That's not a bad amount of health, to be honest. I can work with that. Alright, yeah, that's not bad, and especially since I'm already gaining back so much health from this aura.
Weakness consumes you.
So many things revived, and I'm already halfway, everybody, to 61. We're doing good. We're doing good. These are the levels of Simulacrum, where I was kind of hoping to do this without any major edits, but honestly, at this point, it's the same ability, different runes. I don't know if there's going to be much to say. It's going to depend on how quickly I can level once I hit that 61. I should definitely change everything up around once I hit 61, though. We'll see what Simulacrum does. I haven't even looked at it. I don't even know, as an ability, what does it do. Okay, there's not a lot to kill here so far. Very orange place. Minions are doing well. So I can't really say, aside from survivability, I can't really say in my head I've got any blood build in my mind, right? Because obviously, blood is a major theme as part of the kit. There's a set based around it. I'm having a hard time. I don't really like abilities that take the health, I think, is what it is. But I like the fact that there are blood skills that are not about taking health, but giving it back. So really, it's two sides of the same coin, really. You think about it. You are in charge of life, right? Taking it and giving it in a way. Okay, let's move on. We've unlocked 2 things apparently at 61. That actually surprised me. Simulacrum is the last blood and bone ability, so no rune, and as we said, 62, 3, 5, 7, 9. So yeah, that's a lot of levels. 10 levels of Simulacrum. I don't know how quickly I'm going to level. This is 25% health though. Wow, on a 120-second cooldown. Creates a Simulacrum made of blood that will duplicate your secondary skills for 15 seconds. So, a duplicate. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Demon Hunters with their turret, back when the turret would use your abilities. I mean, I don't know that's how that works, but if you remember Demon Hunter turrets, before they patched the heck out of it, and I think it's much better now, but there was a time where you would build as a Demon Hunter with pretty much no primary, maybe not no primaries, but you built with a whole bunch of secondary abilities, but you didn't really ever cast them. The reason you did was because your turret cast them if they were on your bar. As long as they were on your bar, it would just do it for you. So you wouldn't basically not spend any of your abilities, and it would cycle through them. And that was the optimal way to do it, because each ability had its own cooldown. I don't know how this is going to work. It says it uses my secondary skills. The question is, does it only use what I have equipped? In which case, should I have more secondaries equipped? Or will it just pick ones to use? We don't know. Reanimation, Land of the Dead has been... Oh, wow, I don't have my last Land of the Dead rune. So they did split up some of the runes. Okay. So they did change it. All right. I had interrupted my train of thought earlier when I was talking about all the earlier classes. It made sense that you got one ability that got all of its runes as you went, basically from 60 to 70, right? Because you had already unlocked all your abilities. You had to have some way of getting a new ability and all of its runes for the last 10 levels, and they basically mixed up gaining those runes and passives. It looks like with the Necromancer, they've said, okay, they've actually mixed up a few of the runes as well, although they still don't give you that one ability until 61. It's fine though. Land of the Dead Invigoration. Your skills do not cost essence while Land of the Dead is active. That's nice. So you can use this version of Land of the Dead for essence rather than corpses, or both, right? You could use it for both. An interesting thing that reminds me again, a lot of these abilities are kind of mirror what some of the other classes have. In this case, I'm thinking of Preparation for the Demon Hunter, where normally it gives you discipline, but you could use it to get hatred. But in this case, it looks like it gives me both, which discipline never, or prep never did. All right, so invigoration, I will never lose any of my essence, so that's a massive boon right there. Cool. All right, so I've got Simulacrum, which will use my secondaries, and Land of the Dead. Okay, I mean, this is a large cooldown, 120 seconds.
Away with you.
Let's see what happens, shall we? Mouse 3. So it looks like it creates... Okay, yeah, it creates a clone, and he uses the abilities when I use them. So... would that be better to use with something like mages? Does the Simulacrums of Power have the same power that I have? To wit, if I were to use Singularity Mages, which use all of your essence to gain strength, would his mages also have that strength, essentially giving me 2 for the price of 1? That could be useful. It could be very useful. So Simulacrum mirrors secondaries, right? So you could have potentially more than one secondary on your bar, but you've got Spear, Mage, and Death Nova. So essentially, if you're going to be using Simulacrum, it's these 3 skills that you have to focus around. Otherwise, there's no point, right? Because Simulacrum doesn't, from what I saw, does not do anything on its own until you cast. So you need to be able to cast. Simulacrum combined with this Land of the Dead that I just got actually seems very worthwhile, because then I can pop Simulacrum and then I can just spam any ability that I want to. And he will do it as well. So I feel like these 2 abilities combined are going to make a really big amount of burst. That is 10 seconds, that is 15 seconds, so I want to activate Simulacrum first. The question is which one of these would be best? So, Bone Spear Crystallization, each enemy hit has their attack speed reduced and your attack speed is increased. That, honestly, probably is the way to go, because then my attack speed will continually go up as I hit the enemy. We did get a new Simulacrum rune, though. We got Cursed Form now, so not only will I get my Simulacrum, but I will get, while active, my curse skills now apply all 3 curses. Oh. That's pretty awesome. Speaking of which, let's change curses. I think I might want to continue to use Leech, but I don't know if I want to use Cursed Ground. Increase my regeneration. I basically can do a contagion. Because that really kind of saved me earlier when I put that down. Maybe I'll go ahead and... Well, I mean, if I'm going to use this, which applies all the curses, I should change the curse. So, let's do Osmosis, actually. That'll increase my regeneration. Alright, here we go. We'll give this a shot. So when I do the Simulacrum, all my curses will basically pop. Alright, let's get some revives up. It's looking pretty good. Well, now that I know that things are spread out, I may not try to go all the way for... We'll just... I'll do a good logical stop for time. Since I'm going to try and do a few edits. Unfortunately, there were some distractions that came up, so I'll have to do some minor edits. I'm trying to save time for myself, and I apologize for that if things seem rushed. It's basically, I want to get everything out, you know, as best I can, and it's just easier for me if I can do it all in one fell swoop, especially with how behind I've been. I kind of want to see what the Simulacrum looks like once I get it up. Now that I've got a new Simulacrum, it may have a different form. It wasn't all that impressive looking, quite honestly, when I propped it originally. But that's kind of understandable. It's just kind of a doppelganger. It's not impressive to look at, it's the function that matters, not really the form in this case. I want to have a big creature. Come on, let me try this. Let me see how this will work. I feel like a something other than revive would be better in this case. Something that would utilize the corpses. That corpse lance was really good. I really liked it. But I could also do the corpse explosion. Can I keep spamming this while using? I'm gonna it would alternate. Okay, it alternates. Maybe I don't want to use something that uses a lot of corpses at the same time, because if I want my Simulacrum to attack a lot, I have to be spamming the secondary, not my corpse ability. Okay, so they'll gain Frailty, Decrepify, and this Leech. Why am I not finding an elite? What's going on with this rift? I've almost got the... Okay, we've almost got the Guardian, right? So let's just summon the Guardian, shall we?
I have long waited for this knowledge.
Yeah, see, I got to 63 before I even tried the big combo. Sheesh. Alright, how far am I? 98. Seriously? Everything's been going so fast up until this point. Oh, woe is me. Woe to those who rush for the sake of content and will be hoisted by said content. Hoisted by my own Picard. We're almost there. Come on. I think one or two more kills. There it goes. Alright, so... Here we go. Simulacrum and land, and just gonna spam these. And I'm also gonna hit him with all the curses. Oh, shoot. Oh, crap. Ow. That barely hurt him. Ow. That barely hurt him. Probably my biggest problem was, though, trying to attack Hamlin while his rats were all around me. That's not gonna work. Thankfully, I can kind of keep back here at a distance. I can keep resurrecting his rats from... Oh, Jeebus. I stood in the rats again. That's smart, right? Standing in the rats. That's how you get a DPS buff, right? Oh, gods. I'm using my curse instead of my revive. What is wrong with me? Oh, no, he trapped me. He got me trapped. Get out of that. Yeah, once I pay attention and actually stop, you know, just spamming things while not watching where I'm standing, yeah, I actually can survive. Fancy that, right? Let's take a look at the, I'll try and take a look at the Simulacrum before I pop the, oh, Jeebus. Get out of that. These rats are terrible. I really do not like Hamlin. Alright, so there's the Simulacrum. You can see he's casting his lance with me. I was going to do that so that I can cast freely. I'm going to go ahead and put all 3 curses on him. Oh no, he teleported up there and I didn't block. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, this is bad. He's got so many rats. Why can't I move? Come on, drop this damn barrier. Okay. See, I've got rats too, bucko. Okay. I mean, it's a nice thought. It seems like it could work, but in a fight like that, I'm guessing that's not going to be my boss strategy, to be honest. Well, I'm not against Hamlin anyway. I'm not sure I care for Simulacrum, to be honest, just because most of your really strong abilities are going to be more in the corpse section, right? So if you're going to use Land of the Dead, you're going to want to use it for corpses. Now, I don't have to use Land of the Dead with Simulacrum, right? I could pop one then the other. I could basically alternate between these two. It just seems like they would work so well together, right? Because the Simulacrum mimics you. So why would you not, right? I mean, that seems to be the thing. It's not working here, but I am on a Torment 3 Hamlin, and I have leveled a few times since I upgraded my gear. So chances are my gear is just basically under me at this point. So I'm going to Simulacrum, and I'm just going to try and hit him with a bunch of these. And you can kind of see his attack speed going up with mine. And I got trapped again, so let's just kind of... put down the curses. I mean, I do like that, sheesh. I do like...
Not enough essence.
Okay. I do like that I can spam with this, and I do like that that can put down all the curses, but it's 120 seconds to be able to do that. Alright, I'm going to close this rift. It looks like I've hit the hour mark. And that's not bad. I made it to 63, so I'm not quite getting 10 levels. I think last time it was 9 anyway, because I miscounted. So it's okay. Things might slow down a bit. I've got 7 left, right? So that means with luck and with good experience, I could finish it in the next one. But let's see what I got, because we will go over these, and I'll dedicate a few minutes to going over those, because I should have enough time. Let's see if I got anything good as a legendary, though. If I got anything good for the Necro. And I did, actually. This is Rathma's Volition. Wow, why... Okay, it's okay. I leave these in, by the way. I leave these in for your amusement, because then you can look at the screen, scratch your head, or hit your head. Rathma's Volition. This gives Skeletal Mage the effect of the Gift of Death. Wow, I cannot talk. I really shouldn't do these when I'm tired. Gift of Death. Okay, so what does that mean? What is Gift of Death? That's the one that gives a corpse. Okay. Okay. Useful. Essentially means that you're getting free corpses. It makes Skeletal Mage your secondary. And now I could use this with my Simulacrum, right? So here we go. I'm starting to see I'm kind of thinking of a strategy here now. So I use a mage. Doesn't matter which mage. They always get Gift of Death. So I could do something like Skeletal Archers, where their attacks are constantly increasing, as well as mine. Well, it's just mine, I guess. But that's still useful. Because then I can just put down a few archers and then do my own attack, my own primary, right? And then as they're doing that, they're dropping me corpses that I can use. I would probably want to go off revive. I'd want to go and get some kind of massive hit, I think, for that. So that's cool. I like that. I'm going to go ahead and put these on. They are an upgrade. Here's the way they look as a transmog. They're actually pretty cool looking. And skills. Simulacrum is upgraded to Reservoir. Your maximum essence is increased by 100% while your Simulacrum is active. Okay. Now that could go two ways. You could use that for the singularity to get really, really powerful mages, but I mean that seems to defeat the point, honestly, because then you'll never really regain your essence quite that high. There's no reason. But if it works the way I think it does, in which when you pop it, it not only doubles your maximum pull, but the current essence that you have, right? So if I'm at 100 essence and it raises my maximum to 200, then my current essence should go up as well. Well, my maximum is 200, but I was just using, 1 to 100 as a base. I have to see if that's how that works. So we'll put on Reservoir. No new passes yet. Passives. Serration is good with the Bone Spear, but if we're going to go mages, I don't need Serration anymore. What I will probably want to do is get Extended Servitude to keep the mages around. I want to have an explosive ability for when I use Land of the Dead. Yes. And what I should do is take off Invigoration. Because what I want to do is I want to use Invigoration to pop a bunch of mages, which are going to pop me a bunch of corpses, and then I'm going to use those corpses on my corpse ability. If I'm using a primary instead, I'm kind of... well, I could do that. But Land of the Dead... So this is the conundrum I run again. I could use Land of the Dead to make skeletons, which makes corpses anyway. Or I could use Land of the Dead to fire off corpses. But if I alternate between the two, I could use Simulacrum to make the corpses, use them up, then use Land of the Dead to have more. I really think I don't want to use it as Invigoration, to be honest. Just because you can't interrupt one cast with the other. As we saw with the animation, I can only do one or the other. If I'm firing my spear and then I switch to trying to use corpses, it's two separate animations. It's not like I talked before about using Ice Nova, right? You can use that while you're casting anything and it doesn't interrupt the cast. It's great. This doesn't work that way. So what I'm going to get is something good. Should I get Corpse Lance? I really liked Blood Lance, to be honest. The only downside is, well, it's a lot of damage. It does take my health. I could do the Ricochet to make sure that it bounces off. Or I could go for Crit Chance. I don't have a lot of crit damage. I'm going to go with Blood Lance, see how it feels. Simulacrum Reservoir is good. We're going to get rid of Invigoration. Instead, I could get the duration up. But I plan on using this as a nuke if I'm going to be using Lance, so that's probably not going to help. Deals weapon damage or freeze. Let's get Plague Lands. Okay. And then I think I'll keep Osmosis if I'm going to be doing something like that. I really need to have some kind of regeneration. I like it. I think this might work out. So let's close the rift. I'll get some gear and we'll start over again.
Well done. My power.
Okay, so when I closed the rift, I leveled up and I got a passive, so it doesn't matter. No skills to go over. It looks like 64 is just going to give us Aberrant Animator, which gives my minions 200% of my thorns. Honestly, I don't know what I feel about this passive being on the Necromancer, because without seeing any gear that utilizes it, there are no skills that really utilize it. I mean, on a Crusader, it makes sense, right? Because you've got abilities that can utilize your thorns and whatnot. Maybe there's items that might make this useful. But as it is right now, I don't even know if I have any thorns on my gear. It's a passive I'm not using. So there we go. 64 didn't really give me much, but I still do have to go over the other skills, which we will. I look a little like Rainbow Bright right now, but it's okay. We're going to go back into the Rift. My gear is completely upgraded. The pants that I had, in case you saw on the sheet that I'm not wearing them, they are in my KageKaze cube now. I don't have them actively equipped because I'm not using that skill, but they are. I did extract the power. I didn't just sack them. Alright, we're going to move forward, and we are going to...
These hunters are curious creatures.
Ooh.
Bloodthirst, vicious hounds roam the northern moors of Pakistan.
Try and stay alive. Let's use a bit of these...
They roam in packs and will take on anyone that crosses their path.
Come on, come on, come on.
Have been
My life on hit and survivability depends on this. Come on.
Some say
I'm afraid
heart mad and hard work.
There we go. Okay.
But
Doing
I have
alright.
not been able to confirm
Wow, look at
it
that.
with my own eyes. Whatever their origin, the destruction they leave in their wake suggests that we are right to fear the worst.
Alright, so we'll use Simulacrum to... Oh, you know what? I'm actually using the wrong skill. I meant to switch over to mages. Let me pop back out of here, because I want to use those shoulders I got. Skeletal mages, skeletal archers. There we go, because I want the attack speed increase. And while I'm getting their attack speed increase, let's go ahead and use a few of the spears. Yeah, that's kind of working. So this archer, when he dies, is going to pop me a corpse that I can use. Okay, and of course the corpses over there are still useful too. And what's even better is all of these archers that I have. Increase my attack speed, so while I'm using my primary ability to regain my health. Oh, this is something else. This is something else. This is. I think I found a build that works. I'm just spamming archers, and when they die, spamming. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pout my land to the dad. I'm just gonna... Okay, Simulacrum's active. I'm popping a bunch of archers with Simulacrum up. And now I'm just gonna pop a bunch of corpses. Oh my god. I think I just saved my ass. Holy crap, I just saved my ass. The damage on that is insane. I wasn't expecting to go over another level, but I just gained 2 levels, so... This is working. This is actually working. I mean, what I need is an escape, I think. I'm honestly thinking I would probably be better off... Honestly, this doesn't need Simulacrum. This build doesn't need Simulacrum because the archers are so cheap, right? That the way I've got this, I don't need it. And the build itself is working just fine. I could replace Simulacrum with my teleport, and that would help me escape. And I think that would actually make a decent build at this point. So really, I'm still struggling for a place to use this power. It seems really cool, but I haven't found the niche for it yet. Now, I've leveled twice. I don't know which skills I get when. So this is kind of a combined level 65, 66. We did get a new passive. We got Blood for Blood. Picking up a health globe removes the health cost of the next blood spell. And it can stack up to 10 times. So any abilities that I have that help me get health globes means that I could potentially use these blood skills a little more frequently without taking health. I do believe there's a corpse explosion that does that, maybe a curse. So there is a potential for that. I'm not going to use it now because with the way I'm going, I just have no need for it. Simulacrum, unlocked self-sacrifice. So if you would die with a Simulacrum active, instead the Simulacrum is destroyed and you are fully healed. Okay, so there's a potential use for Simulacrum as an active cheat death mechanic. Now I haven't really seen much art changes on the Simulacrums. I'm going to go ahead and activate the self-sacrifice Simulacrum and take a look at them, see if there's any changes. Their art is very subtle, and I think maybe that's the point. They're kind of not meant to be a big skill on their own. But we got a new Land of the Dead. So instead of Plague Lands, I'm going to be using Land of Plenty. I am healed for 2% of my maximum life whenever I kill an enemy while Land of the Dead is active. That actually is very useful for this build that I'm doing, because I got surrounded like that, and that allows me to use this really strong lance to heal myself, right? So if I... Let me get surrounded here. Pop it, and then I just... I'm having to put corpses... I'm having to put curses down. It's not quite working the way I expected it. I think part of the problem is... God damn, these lances are so much better than I remember, but I wonder if it's because I'm using the blood ones. How much health does that heal for again? 2% of your maximum life? I mean... The problem is I spam the lances so frequently. It kept me alive, so certainly this Land of the Dead is useful for me to be able to spam more often, but I really still think I'm going to need to use my Osmosis more. So let's take a look at the Simulacrum, right? Let's just see what it looks like. So he's kind of a skeleton now. We can see he has his own... Wow, look at that. Okay, you can only have 10 of these things up at a time. So I feel like the duplicates of them are not that helpful. Now, here's the other thing that I've noticed too. He doesn't get the rune. You notice that the skeletons that I dropped corpses. The skeletons that he dropped did not. So the more I use Simulacrum, the more and more I hate it. I'm gonna be honest. It's an ability that when I first unlocked it, I said, "This is awesome. I could do something with this," because there's like Witch Doctor build I've done with like there's I believe it was a helmet that gives you like a shadow that uses your abilities too, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I remember that doing a lot of damage. There is potential here, but again, without the gear, I think I'm not seeing it. I just think I'm not seeing it because of gear. Because honestly, all of these secondary abilities, I mean, I can only have 10 skeletons. He would allow me to have 20 skeletons. Okay, that's cool. That's a good amount of damage. But really the benefit I was hoping for was to also get the corpses. I mean, Death Nova, he could help me Death Nova. That would be a lot of AoE. And the spears, we've seen that works fairly well too. But again, the secondaries are not your big hitters. I mean, Simulacrum seems to be like it's trying to help your secondaries become the big hitters, but really that's going to come from your corpse lances or your corpse explosions, or you know, even your big cooldowns like Army of the Dead, your Bone Spirit. You know, there's just so much there. Yeah, I would just honestly, for this build, I would just drop Simulacrum. I'm going to... Oh dear. I'm going to die is what it is. I'm going to activate Simulacrum, and we're going to activate a bunch of these things. And I'm going to go ahead and at the same time activate my Land of the Dead. And I'm kind of alternating between my lances and my archers. And again, I survive. Huh. Well, I'm 66. I've only got 4 more levels to go. So, I mean, what are the 4 levels, right? 2 passives and 2 abilities. I'm gonna push it. I'll just have to do more editing on this one than I planned. We'll do it. We'll do it. I'm gonna go level. And already we've hit 67. So for 67, we will be getting a new Simulacrum to try out again. I mean, the Simulacrum's coming hot and heavy, apparently. Yeah, I'm liking the way this build synergizes. These skeletons... I mean, even if you don't have the shoulders that I have, right? You could do this by just getting the parting gift room. You don't have to have the archers, but the archers make this work for me because I can just sit here and use my strongest life generating ability while I'm spamming archers and keep myself alive. You know, it keeps my survivability up. So this Simulacrum is Blood Debt. Life cost for all skills are reduced by 75% while Simulacrum is active. You know what? This might be useful. So that means I can activate Land of the Dead and Simulacrum at the same time. It will reduce the life cost. This will heal me when they die. I think maybe I found the combo that I'm going to like. We're going to try it. I'm going to pop them both. I'm going to find a big group here or something similar. This may be a bit more than I should have chewed. It's okay. Alright, let's pop some of these. I'm going to go ahead and just pop everything.
I'm afraid not.
Oh my. It seemed to work. It's not really like I intended, but I mean, I stayed alive. I didn't pop my get out of death free card.
That is not possible.
My biggest problem with any of this is, of course, I have to remember to put down the curses, or that seems to be when I die. When you guys see me losing a bunch of health, it's usually because I forgot to put my osmosis down. See, I would like to have Frailty while using this build, since the ability of Land of the Dead gives me health back when they die. Obviously, lower health pools means I'm going to survive longer. Get more heals, but honestly at this point the osmosis is kind of needed. Alright, I've got 10 full archers. The moment that number starts to drop, I'll start spamming them again.
That is not possible.
Yikes. I like it. I am liking this build so far. Oh my god, I just love the rain of corpses, or not corpses, but rain of lances. Oh my god, okay. Okay, this may go over an hour because I'm finding things to talk about. I wasn't expecting that. Let's kill these guys and see what I got. That's assuming that they let me freaking get off of here. There, let me go to my skills. Jeez. Looks like this is the passive. So I've got Blood is Power. After cumulatively losing 100% of your maximum life, all ability cooldowns are reduced by 20%. This effect cannot reduce an ability cooldown more than once each time that ability is used. So, cumulatively losing your health pool. So I'm guessing this is what makes your blood skills useful. You lose 100% of your maximum life, and then all your cooldowns get reduced by 20%. Cannot reduce an ability's cooldown more than once each time that ability is used. So basically, in my case, this would actually not be too bad, because then I could reduce the cooldown of Simulacrum and Land of the Dead. That might not be too bad, rather than using Draw Life. As a matter of fact, actually, I might maybe instead of Extended Servitude, because Extended Servitude is actually not as useful right now. I want my mages to die sooner so that I can get their corpses sooner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Blood is Power on that. I don't know how useful it'll be. I don't know how quickly I will get my cooldowns back. I'll try it. But I'm going to move on and try and get another level for you guys. Okay, wow, I got completely surrounded. I might like do a sped up version of that or something, because that was, I don't know how I survived it. I'm going to be honest, I pretty much panicked and just kept hitting buttons. I couldn't move. I was so surrounded I couldn't move, and this is where an escape ability would have been so useful. But I somehow survived, I think, from the combination of Skeletal Mage's attack speed increase with Scythe and Blood giving me health, and of course Leech, which just kept giving me more and more, and I have Draw Life still active. I think that did it. Something I think I learned in the midst of all that as well is I believe that the Simulacrum's mages are counting towards my mage total. So when my Simulacrum comes off cooldown, I would like to take a look at that. In the meantime, I got a new Simulacrum that I can't really look at because it's on cooldown, which kind of sucks. It's coming back up here. Looks like at level 70 I'll be getting a new passive. Beyond that, I think that's it. So let's quickly look at Simulacrum. This is Blood and Bone. Now also creates a Simulacrum of Bone, but the duration is reduced to 10 seconds. Does that mean I have two Simulacrums? Okay, so I have a Simulacrum of Blood and a Simulacrum of Bone. So now instead of doubling my secondaries, it's going to triple it? Okay, let's try it. And as a matter of fact, this is a good time to test what I was talking about. I'm going to use my Simulacrum. Yep, I've got two Simulacrums. I'm going to cast my Mage. Wow, I have a Mage army. Yeah, they're not dropping corpses. Okay. And the attack speed is based on... Okay, so I was wrong. The attack speed is based on the skeleton mages actually hitting my enemy, not on the cast of them. So that was my bad on that. So we know that this Simulacrum, this could... I mean, again, there's two possibilities here with Simulacrum that I'm seeing. The previous one, which basically lets me cut down the blood health cost, which will keep me alive. This one has potential as well. Simply because now you're talking about tripling any secondary that you might do, right? So triple your Blood Nova, you know, triple your lances, you know, not these, but triple your Bone Spears, right? What else is in this? You know, as we've seen, triple my mages, right? It is entirely possible that you can make something with that. I mean, I can make a veritable army of the dead using nothing but mages. And again, I think a lot of the skills that we're looking at and how useful, pardon me there, by the way, how useful they're going to be is going to be based on, I'm just going to spam a bunch of mages here. Yeah, I can only have so many mages. Look how many mages I have. I have an army of mages, as if they were revives, and now a bunch of corpses. Well, I've leveled, but I gotta say, I have met my match. This GOM duplicate is really kicking my butt. Part of it's because I just don't have any really good way to heal, even with my like even with my drain. Like I'm draining and I'm using my curses quite a bit, but his damage is just better than my heal. And he's always got all these enemies, or all these minions. So I just keep spamming an army of undead in his way as best I can, and I just keep pulling back until I win. That's kind of how I had to do it. I died like 3 times though. But anyway, we hit 70, which means we've hit the end of our long journey, and I've done it in 2 videos rather than 3, which I wasn't expecting. With a little bit of editing, maybe this won't be too bad, but it will still probably be more than an hour. Let's talk about what I got at level 70. We got Rathma's Shield. You cannot lose life for 4 seconds after using Land of the Dead, Army of the Dead, or Simulacrum. So this makes Simulacrum even more useful. So you can't take damage for 4 seconds. And considering that I spam my blood ability, that I find incredibly useful. Now, I have heard that this can be almost broken with enough skill cooldown reduction in the ability to pop these abilities frequently. Now, I don't know if they've changed the cooldowns since the build I saw was on the PTR. I don't even remember off the top of my head what the build exactly was. But I do know that it involved a lot of cooldown reduction in order to make sure that you could basically pop down Land of the Dead almost non-stop. I don't know what it was. It could be things have changed since then. This skill explicitly mentions, though, Land of the Dead, Army of the Dead, and Simulacrum. Maybe it was Army of the Dead. I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look at Army of the Dead and see if I can remember if anything. No. But we're looking at 120 seconds, 120 seconds, and of course Simulacrum is also 120 seconds. There might be a way to cheese it, but I have a feeling it's going to require a lot of Paragon levels and or a lot of really specific gear. But the idea was that you could basically pop it so often that you would just never die. Now the build was focused around damage, so that if you ever missed one of those 4-second windows, you were pretty much wiped. But they were up in like over 100 greater rifts or something when I saw it. Again, I'm going off a hearsay, but I'm just kind of saying that's how powerful something like this, something that says you do not lose life for any amount of time, is an amazing way to regain, said life. So that's not bad. I mean, I'm not going to go out and, obviously it's a passive. That's not anything that I can really go out and show. But it is something that I think works with this build that I've put together, and I do kind of like this build. Now that I'm level 70, though, I mean, we saw what that GOM lookalike did to me. I may have to knock the difficulty down just a little bit. But I do have a good amount of blood shards, and I'm going to see if I can't get some gear. So maybe with luck, I can start getting some gear to put that out. Now, the seasons do start in just a few days. So I honestly may have more luck waiting for the seasons, because at least when you do a seasonal guy, you are gifted a set of armor when you complete some of the seasonal events. So who knows? I'll see what I can do. I make no promises, though, just because it, obviously it takes time for me to go through, get this equipment, and of course then I'm gonna put something together and record it. Honestly, it may come down to waiting for seasons. We'll see how it goes. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for following this series of blind playthrough with the Necromancer. As you saw, I know very little about him. I didn't really research into him. These were all kind of very rough first impressions. There were a few things I knew about here and there, but this is generally how I felt as it happened, and you kind of explored my thought processes of these skills as they unlocked. Overall, it's not bad. I didn't think this would be the build that I would end up centering on. I like it, though, for some reason. And again, it's all because of gear. It all comes down to what gear you find. And in this case, I found an ability that lets me increase my attack speed and get corpses. I can spam lances. I can keep myself alive because I'm draining life, and it works. I honestly think, however, though, I would probably still get rid of Simulacrum and replace it with some defensive ability. If not a teleport, then possibly a bone armor, because most of the time I was standing in the middle of a huge group of enemies and surviving thanks to osmosis. So maybe I would go armor rather than teleport, because then I can just stand there and keep myself alive, because then I can just get my life regeneration up. Like, this build seems to be really useful when you've got a lot of life per second, and I've got 12,000 of it right now thanks to my Paragon. My life regeneration is honestly, that's 90% Paragon. It's 10,000. I've only got 2,000 on gear. So this build, probably not something I'm going to be able to do right away, even with the seasonals, because, well, I'd have to find the shoulders again, and I'd have to somehow get all that life regeneration. So obviously, builds like this, certain builds are going to be more suited towards higher Paragon or higher stats of a certain type. I may consider, and honestly, anyone that does play the Necromancer, you know, if you're starting out as a Necromancer, something to consider might be going for life regeneration. A lot of your skills enhance your life generation. Just the draw life ability by itself increases your life regeneration by 10%. If we look at the skill I'm thinking of picking up here under bone armor, it was flesh sustained. You lose health, but boom, 10% target per hit, life per second increase. So look at your secondary stats when you're getting your gear. Get that, you know, life regeneration. Here, this that's on kill. Don't get the on kill. Get the life per second. Like I said, I don't have a lot. There's my, oh, that's life per hit. So that's the interesting thing too, is you're looking at life per second, not per hit. That changes things. Like, I'm used to, if I were doing survivabilities, per hit was always really powerful. It seems the Necromancer is breaking the mold on that per hit. Now, there are builds, and there are things like Command Skeleton, which get a lot of life regeneration per hit. So pay attention to your survivability, right? So like here, these pants, I got a decent amount of regeneration. I think that's going to be the key. The key is either focus on a set of gear that's going to get you your per hit or your regeneration, or as you're picking up gear, figure out which one is higher and build around that. Maybe might be some of the best things I could suggest for, you know, keeping the survivability up. Honestly, Necromancers are fairly hardy if built right, from what I've seen, especially with all of the life draining abilities we have. Not just the natural life per hit and life per second, but just the ability. I mean, things like this power shift or siphon blood, just the ability to drain. So keep your defenses up. Vitality, I mean, always vitality is important, but it feels like a Necromancer's best friends are going to be armor and resistance. Your just natural ability is armor and resistance. On top of that, with low health pools, blood does not do as much damage per se, because it's always percentage based. The lower your health pool, the lower damage you're actually going to take. Necromancers, I think, actually do not gain a huge benefit from a ton of vitality, just because your blood ability, especially if you go blood. Now, if you don't go blood, you're fine. But if you go blood, every point of vitality, it's not going to help you, because percentage-based capabilities that you have will scale with whatever vitality you have. So if you've got more armor, if you've got more resistance, couple that with some decent regeneration, all of those blood skills, if you're building blood, that's what you focus on. Alright, I've rambled a lot. This is an extra long, extra thick video for you guys. Again, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, by all means, leave some feedback. It would be appreciated, so I know what you guys think. I look forward to seeing you guys again. Take it easy.